regular Newmarket School Board meeting on August 6th, 2026, beginning at 5:15 p.m. And we will start, as we always do, with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Right. Hopefully everybody's staying cool with the weather out there. At this point, I would like to open the floor for public comment. Any residents are invited to offer brief comments up to 3 minutes on any items on the agenda. And seeing no movement, I will also close at 5:16 p.m. And any members of the board receive any public correspondence? I did hear from one community member just regarding a person who was the subject of litigation in the past that seemed to resurface, and this community member just wanted to give us a heads up that that person had resurfaced in the area.
And I did receive a correspondence regarding the athletic fields feasibility study at the Carpenter property.
All right. Board comments and committee updates. We haven't had a ton of committees being not during the school year, but
Yeah, I attended the long range planning subcommittee last week, and it was our first meeting ever. So we established goals to continue to work towards the implementation of the master plan alongside the planning board, which is it's expected to adopt the plan during their next meeting, and also to develop a long-term vision for the town to consider our master plan as it's being updated. This current meeting was all about storm water management. And the real highlight is just that there are pipes in town that have been identified as needing to be renewed or replaced within the next 10 years. Um, what really applied to us was Lindsay Butler, our town engineer, said that she knows that the school facilities manager is evaluating and maintaining much of the storm management here. Um, but our storm management is not included in her overall price tag that she was sharing and presenting that night. So she just said, if possible, it sounds like we would be doing this anyway, that if we could share an update on our own storm management.
I'm getting the thumbs up from Dave right now. He will
Thank you.
gladly share that information.
Perfect.
Thank you, Mr. Wright.
Right. Thank you very much.
Anyone else?
Well, I handed out a note paper right here. It is notes that were taken from a Engage New Hampshire tax cap meeting on Tuesday night. And if you look down at the bottom in bold, they this Nancy, who's Nancy Glynn, shared all of the talking points that this group had on Tuesday night. I know I signed up for it to attend, but I did not, but there's going to be a recording coming out. So these are some issues everybody's going to be dealing with when it comes to HB 113. So I figured it would be good for us to have some ideas to what other people are going to do. The above the talking points was our minutes from last night's meeting. There are only 4 of us there, but it just kind of gives a little oversight of what we did. But one thing I found out in looking at how these HB tax caps are evaluated, they go by the consumer price index, which is our grocery carts. You know, there's the price of eggs and all that. But actually, in doing some of my research, I found out that a better model, if people used it, would be this employment cost index, and you'll see that about the 4th line down. And that actually goes, and I'm no economist by any means, but that actually measures employment with labor costs and things like that, a service industry. So that kind of is a way to look at school issues, not comparing them to your grocery cart, but comparing them to what does it cost a service industry to maintain their adequate funding. Just, I do not know anything more about it, except that I thought it was very interesting. Maybe somebody else does.
If I could just to clarify, the HB 1300 is very specific about the index you have to use
Yes.
in the tax cap vote. I think what you're talking about is, as you discuss it publicly, maybe referencing that other index
Yes.
as a basis of comparison.
Right,
The HB 1300 requires the use of the CPI for the Northeast region for the month of March. And so it's a number that
yeah,
is,
right,
it is what it is.
yeah. But having some knowledge that there might be another index out there could
Yes.
add to the conversation a little
Yes.
bit. Okay, thank you.
And thank you, Kathy, as always, for keeping us
Going crazy.
extra informed. No, I think I'm speaking
Thank
for
you.
myself, but I think
Thank
others
you.
also really
I
appreciate it.
appreciate that.
A couple more weeks, we will have our new student representative to give a report, but in the meantime, we'll have
You just got me, huh? Handful of things I wanted to just give a quick report on. This past Monday, we had the last meeting of the with the engineer who's doing the feasibility study on the Carpenter property for us. So that was just a planning meeting. That it was very clear the report will be available to us by the end of August. As soon as I have that report, I will share it with the board. And I have scheduled the engineer, Andrew Peroni, to come to our September 17th board meeting to share it with the board at large. And actually, I watched the, kind of tells you how exciting my life is. I watched the video of the long range planning subcommittee. Not while it was happening, I have to say. It was, but I did notice that the topic of our project, the potential project on the Carpenter property came up, and I did reach out to Bart, and we are on the agenda for the next meeting, October 5th. And Andrew Peroni will be sharing that information with them as well, because there were a lot of questions asked that sort of created more mystery around what is going on than
Yeah.
than
Sounds
this.
like there might be some misinformation.
Right. So I think
Yeah.
let's go right, because I did have a meeting earlier. Actually, Lonnie and I had a meeting earlier today with town manager Fournier and Brian Ward, the chair of the town council, to plan the upcoming joint meeting. But we did have some conversation about what's the best way forward when we're planning capital projects. And we do believe that certainly the long range planning subcommittee is one key place, but the CIP committee is the other place. So just to be aware that's coming. I will give you the shortest version of the feasibility study. I mean, basically the question of, is it possible to put athletic fields on the Carpenter property? The short answer is yes. Okay, obviously cost and priority and all those other things have to come into play. So there's that. I also want to give you a quick update. Since I think I mentioned this last meeting, and I know the June meeting, the NES-PTA Outdoor Committee came and presented to you. We have hit a couple of snags, not by anyone's creating, but as we've looked at conservation rules and things like that, we've hit a couple of snags, and Dave Riley and Sean have worked with them. They have plans to move forward. In the short term, we will be installing a shed for storage of outdoor equipment at the elementary school specifically for this purpose. And they are working around some of the limitations. I would say, as I mentioned last meeting, one of the things we have learned through Dave's work is our neighbors are wonderful and they're very collaborative, cooperative people, but there are still limitations to things like conservation and like proximity to water and so forth. So anyway, it's going forward, but we did hit a couple of snags. So, but we're figuring it out. It's going to be good. I do want to give you a couple of heads up about next meeting, just because I typically like to share something with you and then give you a meeting to think about it before I ask you to commit to something. And actually, in this particular case, I would have liked to have had a policy committee meeting, but the way things happen in New Hampshire, you don't always get that opportunity to do things the logical way. A new law went into effect that impacts the definitions and legal requirements of bullying practices in the schools. And as a result, it went into effect on August 1st. And we got some advice from New Hampshire School Board Association that while um, they encourage us to do our own policy review, they recommend we immediately adopt a new version of JICK, which is the bullying and safety policy. Similar to what happened to us last year around Title IX stuff. Remember, because they kept changing the rules, they recommended adopt the policy so you have it legally in place and then review it and make adjustments as needed. So I just wanted to tell you at the next meeting, I will bring you a version of JICK that is legally compliant. And then the following week, we have our next policy meeting and then we'll review it. We're doing it kind of backwards, but I will be asking you to waive the policy requirement of first and second read and just adopt it as is. And I'll give you a much more detailed explanation. I just want to give you the mental heads up to that because I don't like to do that to you. Um, Additionally, just in terms of timelines, um, uh, I will be sharing with you next meeting the updated CIP and asking for your permission to share it with the CIP committee. Because that they are getting started earlier this year than they have in the past. And so we need to get it to them. And actually the BART has asked to have it by August 21st. So the next meeting is the day before the deadline that we've been asked. So just be aware. And Lonnie, you're our CIP person. So I will be trying to coordinate with you in the next 2 weeks to make sure that happens. Kind of tapping into the theme of what Kathy was just talking about. Bryant Lee and I are actively starting to think about planning for how to address the new HB 1300, which is the tax cap vote that the community is going to vote on. We are looking at a range of things. I also reached out to Mark McLean, the executive director of the NHSAA, and Dave Cartoonan, the gentleman who made videos for us around budget development, about the idea of would the NHSAA be interested in putting together some informational videos on the subject. And so I have a meeting next week with Mark McLean and Dave Cartoonan to see if we can make that happen. I'm hopeful that there'll be some meaningful information that we can get from that will make it easier to educate the community about that. And then really the last thing I want to do is I want to celebrate something. You look over in the audience tonight, and there are chairs. They're lovely chairs, aren't they? The reason those chairs are particularly valuable tonight is one of our facilities technicians, Sarah Stevens, she noticed over the course of many months that we had a certain type of chair here at the junior senior high that was breaking and needed to be replaced. And so one thing would have been to say, let's take all the bad chairs, throw them in the dumpster and buy new chairs. She took some initiative and did a lot of research and discovered that the chairs were under a 15-year warranty.
Oh,
Okay. And she reached out to the vendor and said, hey, we've got a problem. All these chairs are breaking. What are you going to do for us? They said, you're the only school that has followed up on this.
My goodness.
And we got $11,000 worth of chairs delivered to us for free. So now our kids will not be sitting on chairs that have broken backs and pinching, all that kind of stuff. They will sit on nice chairs. And to me, that's the kind of initiative that we want to celebrate and value. And one of the things I really value is Dave Riley. We talk all the time, and the efforts in his department and led by Dave to make sure that we're paying attention to stuff like that. It's $11,000 isn't nothing. So it's a pretty significant thing. So thank you to Sarah for that, but also thank you to Dave for creating that environment in your department that motivates people to do really great stuff like that.
Thank you.
So with that, I will hand it back to you.
I was particularly excited to hear about that, just being an educator and,
Yeah.
sometimes you just don't always, you have to make do with certain materials. And so, I'm sure Sarah's not watching right now, but thank you.
Yes.
Chairs to replace the chairs that were broken. They replaced
All
all
of
the
them.
chairs we ordered at that time with the assumption that the other chairs going to break sooner or later.
No kidding.
Yeah.
really want to be able to twist some arms because
And there was a known issue with the chairs that apparently the chair company didn't bother to share. And we raised it with them, and they go, yeah, that lot is not good, so yeah, you should get all the chairs. So anyway, $11,000 later.
And delivered,
yes,
right? Which we all.
Free.
Free.
For free as well, not a penny we paid nothing.
Happy news. All right.
Remarkable.
And yeah,
Before we move on, is there any way with JICK, whenever you have like some sample verbiage of it or like an idea before our next meeting, we'll be able
Absolutely.
to review that a
Yeah,
little bit?
let me work to get that out to you either tomorrow or Monday.
Cool.
Did that come
Yep.
through the,
Yeah, I think we got a copy
We
of
got-
that from the New Hampshire School Board
you
Association.
get a couple.
Okay.
I'm not sure
Yeah.
if it was the.
Yeah, they've
board
been, well, the JICK is the one that they are recommending
that we had-
aggressively we adopt. There was another one, JJ, I think it was, that they encourage us to do an immediate look at, but I think that we can follow the regular policy process. This one is very specific to the definitions and the terminology need to be in line for the opening of school. So yeah, I will get that to you as quickly as possible.
Yeah, it was,
good call. Thank you.
yeah.
Moving on to discussions and presentations, we have community member Maribel Hernandez here to talk to us about a school calendar.
Maribel, why don't
Take
you
a
come up to- first of all, let me just start by saying Maribel reached out to me probably in June, was it, Maribel?
I
Yeah.
know I caught you just at the end of the show.
Reached out and we to
Best time
talk
reach
about
out to-
what's that?
It's the best time to reach out.
Yeah, we had nothing to do at the time. No. No, but so we went back and forth a little bit about it. Maribel is a local realtor, and she had a wonderful idea of creating a magnetic calendar for the school district. That basically it's the school district calendar on a magnet that can go on your refrigerator, so parents around are going, that's something. So in discussing it with Maribel in terms of like the policy requirements, there are two components to this. Number one, it's a sponsorship because it's using the school information. So there's a policy that requires the board to approve a sponsorship issue. And because it involves cost in excess of $1,000, it's also a gift in a sense to the school. So I asked Maribel to come here tonight to kind of introduce herself, talk a little bit about the idea so that the board can then have a conversation, ask her any questions. So I don't know if there's anything you'd like to add to the conversation.
So I am one of those parents that forgets that half day. You know, I feel like yeah, what? So I always have that big paper
Right.
calendar and it's just like right when you walk in my house. So a magnet has just always, I grab them everywhere.
here.
But I figured
Sorry, I don't mean to
Okay.
interrupt you. We just check them.
Can we just make
The
sure the mic
volume.
is working? Because it's, yeah.
I can hear you, but we want to make sure
Yeah.
people,
yeah.
people watching and then people behind us,
Testing.
audience can hear.
Good.
Apologies for that. Yeah.
Go
go
ahead.
No, it's okay. So I figured what an easy way to kind of give something back. It's really small. It's not really going to be that crazy, but something you can just have easy access on your fridge. We're packing snacks in the morning, lunches. It's going to be really easy for everyone to see. And with all those papers we get at the beginning of the year, why not just toss something else in there to go home? Um, it's going to be really minimal and just something that, I pulled the calendar off the school website and it's not completely done yet. So if you want to look at it, have any changes, any recommendations or anything like that, I'm
Yeah,
open
there's
to.
a link in your backup. Maribel provided us a kind of a mock-up of kind of
Oh.
giving an idea what it looks like. So if you click on the magnetic school calendar in your backup, you'll kind of see what she's talking about. I mean,
just-
basically, it's for those of you at home. I know you can't. It's not on the screen for people at home to see, but basically, it's the school calendar with sort of the with Marisol's picture and sort of the logo of her company off to the side. But it's in Newmarket's colors and
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
I have to say, just personally, as a parent and an educator, right now I have them in plastic sheet protectors, like front and back, to like compare days. And then I do appreciate that you have first and last day. So I'm always looking like, wait, is it shaded purple? If we're there, is blue a half day?
Yeah.
And that's I understand there's 100 things that that the
Well, I
administrative
will tell you,
to do.
it is one of those things when you have to create a calendar that has the last day on it, but you also have to have 5 snow days
Yeah.
factored in. So it's like, what really is the last day? So you have all these different shading colors and it is crazy making. I will give you that. I accept it.
But I love the concept personally.
I think this is
Yeah.
very good as a former teacher and
Thank-
with grandchildren that I look up their school calendar. Maybe think about giving those not just to the parents, but to
Yeah, no, I'll definitely
caregivers.
have extras.
And I did just receive a football calendar, all those are coming from the realtors.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of parent text chains of like, is it this Wednesday that's a half day? And then be able to just look at the magnet. This is great.
So I don't know if the board would be comfortable acting on it now, or you want to wait until the end, but in order to,
Should we just handle it right now?
But anybody opposed to making a
Yeah.
decision now? No? Okay. So just
move the.
move the action item up.
uh,
All right. I would take welcome a motion to accept the gift and sponsorship of Maribel Hernandez's magnetic
And can we,
calendar.
your email was Maribel Hernandez, but your realtor is Matos?
Yeah. My new last name is Matos.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Maribel Matos.
Yeah.
I apologize. I just
It's
your
okay.
email name and I now
Yeah. It's all right.
So
I-
moved.
And I will
Moved
second
by
it.
board member Sleep. Yes. Being right. Yes. So I'm not confused by S. Second. All right. And all those in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Motion
Thank you,
carries.
Maribel. Appreciate you coming tonight.
Thank you. And you got ahead of,
Yeah.
other places. They're gonna be like, wow, why didn't I think of that first? Cross that off.
I know.
Okay. All right. Moving on to technology recycling,
And I have,
which went
oh,
even
sorry.
better than expected last year. So
I was just about to say Austin's here for that purpose.
Yeah, so it's coming up on the time again to do
Thank
some
you.
more
Let's say, I think
recycling.
this is the first time you've presented to the board, isn't it?
It is, I
You want
think
to
so.
just give a little bit about yourself? Just
Yeah,
overview, but
absolutely.
They know you because you're always at our board meetings helping set up.
That's true. I forget not everybody here knows me though. That's okay. So my name's Austin. I'm one of the technology technicians here. I started last summer. Um, love it here. It's a great place to be. One of the things I've kind of taken on in my role is to be like in charge of our device recycling. Um, trying to do around 2 to 3 times a year to get rid of all of our old devices that are no longer suitable for educational reasons. More often than not, it's because children have broken them, but that's okay. Um, the good news is that I found a company called Cortec that gives money back for devices. They basically find a fair market value for anything we give them, and they go through everything. It takes a couple months, but I mean, I guess once it's out of our hair, it gives us space. So, and then they'll reach back out, let us know what we got. They send a check. They give us a certification of data destruction, so we know no PII, no student data, nothing sensitive is able to be retrieved from those devices. They also are certified in R2V3, which is a recycling certification. So essentially, when they get rid of things, they recycle it ethically. And in the same sense, they take responsibility for everything. So if for some reason, say a Chromebook of ours ends up in a landfill, we're not responsible for that. They take responsibility. So it really just covers us in so many aspects. So throughout the summer, we've replaced a lot of devices. We got tons of new Chromebooks, new staff devices, and we also had quite a few iPads over at the elementary school that are several years old, probably older than most of the children there, honestly. So many of those iPads, they still work, they still turn on, they still charge, they still function normally. However, they cannot be updated. And due to this, it's a security concern. if you can't get security updates and such, there's a possibility that things go wrong. Um, so the amount of things we have that are being recycled, we have 193 Chromebooks, 28 staff Windows laptops, 2 desktops, 2 monitors. We have 7, now 8, because I just replaced one, ceiling speakers, 150 iPads, and 2 other various miscellaneous items. This past recycling run we did with Cortec in the springtime, we got $2,075 back, which I felt very, great about, because coming in here, they were like, yeah, in the past, we've just given them our recycling. That's it. They take it, and that's the last of it. But thankfully, Cortec, they resell parts and such like that. Um, so they give us fair market value, which is great. So we at least get something back for all the stuff that we're getting rid of. And this process just basically ensures that we safely, responsibly, and securely dispose of outdated technology while potentially recovering a small amount of funds. This is just continuing an approach as part of our regular technology replacement schedule, which keeps our systems up to date, protects sensitive data, and guarantees environmentally responsible recycling. Because, we do care about that too. I don't want to just throw all our stuff in a landfill and call it a day. So with that, we seek approval to move forward and get rid of everything that is no longer usable for education.
Thank you, Austin. And we couldn't remember exactly the number earlier.
No worries.
However, but I do remember it being projected to be about $100
Yeah.
Yeah.
or so. And the fact
Yeah.
that,
We got 2,000.
So Cortec was actually, when I was kind of looking for new companies to use, some friends of mine over in the Rochester School District were like, "Hey, we just started using these people. They're really good. Reach out, see if you can do business with them." And the gentleman I spoke to, his name's Joe Keats. I don't know if he's like the CEO over there, or what his role is. However, he kind of coordinates everything. And when I told him where we're located, he's like, "Oh, actually, UNH is one of our biggest customers right down the road." I was like, "Oh, cool." So, just right around the corner. Um, but they've been awesome, super easy to deal with. And, you know, getting anything back is obviously better than nothing. So
no, it's impressive.
Where are they located? Is
I
it,
believe he says they're technically based out of North Carolina. He told me they have customers as far as Alaska
Mhm.
that they do
Okay.
business with.
So it's a national
Correct.
operation, but, so do they have a presence in New Hampshire? Or do they just come when people want them?
I don't know if they have necessarily like established offices or anything like that in New Hampshire. I just know that they do business with many other school districts, and they also service UNH. But I don't know for sure on that.
Gee, could you have a community recycling day?
Yeah, right?
The iPads, I was going, ooh, I got a few.
Yeah, I'm hoping, in the reason why originally we kind of expected only like $100 or so is that um the individuals I know over in Rochester said that they got like $50 back for their stuff. So I
Oh,
was like, we have probably much less than they do. Wasn't really expecting much. But I guess our stuff was just,
better.
better better than theirs. So
Newer?
We have better
Um,
obsolete things than Rochester.
exactly. And with all the iPads too, that from what I've seen function well, again, they're not usable, and
Yeah.
for us, I'm anticipating we'll get a good amount back as well this time. So
I think that we're incredibly fortunate to have people working in Newmarket School District like yourself and like Sarah, who are
it's hard to top
selling
that
it.
though. That's $11,000 worth of chairs
You
versus
get us
some old iPad.
$2,000 3 times a year going forward. It's going to top 11,000.
So now it's just going to be like a race of who can get more.
I just think these are things that should be celebrated, that you are, making sure to be responsible with
Yeah.
district and taxpayer funds. And
Yeah, and especially nowadays too, with how tough it can be economically. Every little bit counts. So
And I think we have to really highlight that when it comes time for our PR, in that we're just not throwing this stuff out. We're
yeah,
we're
absolutely.
being responsible,
And it's
Oh,
not
you-
like
yeah.
it's not like we're taking, you know, we're not taking brand new devices and being
Mhm.
like, we don't want this anymore.
Yeah.
You know, we get our use out of it, and it just comes a point where it's not feasible for security reasons.
And if this can spread to other districts too, you know, if it's in Rochester, who knows where else?
Yeah, absolutely. And I also really like the fact that they not only do you get that certificate of data destruction, which is extremely important when you're dealing, you know, with student records and such, but I just like the fact that they also have that certification for ethical recycling.
Yeah.
That you know everything you're getting rid of is in good hands and taken care of. So I
Great.
think that's a good piece as well.
So I feel like I'd be missing a great opportunity if I didn't ask, because there's only 2 items that fit this. What are the miscellaneous items?
Uh, so I believe this run it's IP vote document cameras, but
Okay.
these
I still use mine.
yeah. So the miscellaneous items are more so like we know we have it, but we don't track like serial numbers and such
Yeah.
to the extent that we do with Chromebooks and iPads and other such items. It's more use document cameras or want to use them
So
anyway.
antiquated. Who would use
Yeah.
What about the overhead projectors?
I still talk about those, you know, the clear sheet. Yeah, exactly. They worked. They were great.
The only suggestion I would make here, the company that is, so we know exactly, you know.
Yeah,
what
absolutely.
we do.
You guys have access to that memo?
Mhm.
Or
Yeah.
should I resend
It's
to?
right, it's all in the back.
Right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'll do then is I'll make a note for myself tomorrow to grab their address, their
Yeah,
information for you.
I would just appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely, not a problem at all.
Thank you.
Of course. Any other questions? Anything you guys need from me?
I don't think so, Austin.
Awesome.
Thank
awesome.
you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
of
Yeah.
course. Well, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
All right, Mr. Riley.
You're up.
It's gonna
How
be
much
hard
are
to do.
you saving us?
Well, actually, it's
Chronically.
funny you should ask that. I assume I'm up here to talk about
So
the.
yeah, let me give a quick,
Okay.
obviously, going back to March, I believe it was, the board authorized us to do some reconfiguration of the shop space to make it more conducive to being a STEAM space. STEAM not being like a steam bath, but STEAM as in science, technology, English, art, engineering. Thank you. I had to ask last time. I had to ask Patty Wands. Can you remind me what the letters stand for? Anyway, so we have done the physical reconstruction of the space. There's a half wall that's been installed to divide what is the traditional wood shop side from what is hopefully to be the STEAM space. But we're at a point now where we can't go forward until we remove some of the older shop equipment that's in there because we have purchased and it's going to be being delivered any day now. In fact, maybe it even arrived today. So all the new storage and so forth. And so, Dave, the issue that I'll ask you to talk about, which is in the memo, is the auction house and kind of how we have arrived at the idea that this is the way to go about dealing with that.
So we did some research on different ways to sell this equipment. Scared to death of doing Facebook Marketplace or one of those because it'll become a full-time job and people drive out. And I know we agreed $100, but I only brought 50, but I drove 2 hours. You got to sell it to me. You know, just we'd spend more time than it'd be worth. So we looked at local auction houses. JSJ Auctions is a local auction house that does schools and other facilities like ours. Um, they were out here today. They'll come out, they'll collect all the stuff, they'll post it online for the auction. They also have an in-house auction where you can go and see it. Um, they don't charge us anything. They charge the buyer 20% of whatever they bid. They will deduct they saw how much equipment we had, and we're gonna have to get a U-Haul for this. So they're gonna deduct moving fees from what we get. Their estimate was, and I really had to twist his arm to get it, between $5,000 and $10,000. He expects us to gross from the sale of the equipment. But they'll come out, they'll put it into sensible lots, they'll take pictures, they'll post it online, they'll do the auction for us. They'll charge the buyers the 20%, and we get, the rest of the money.
And we also have, your people have gone through and inventoried everything that's there. And we have kept quite a bit of the equipment that we see as being useful, right? So like there's
Yes, facilities traditionally use the wood shop to, we got a plane at door, we bring it down there and we use a plane. Or so we've kept a basic amount of table saw, a bandsaw, drill press, a sander, some basic equipment that facilities can use. The idea of the knee wall is if any of the students want to use it, if they have supervision, they're welcome to go in there and use the tools in that space. But just to make sure you need to have supervision, we need to delineate it from the rest of the room.
Yeah, because we recognize there's still going to be like set construction for the play. There's still going to be robotics. Where they're going to have need to cut wood and pipes and things of that sort. And frankly, we also don't want to preclude the idea that there might be wood shop oriented projects that might come up in a classroom. So what we've really done is divided the space in half. So you have half the space. And we, by the way, our hope is that all the stuff will be arrived and installed so that on the 20th we can do a walkthrough and you can see what it's created. But we're trying to think that way. And so it was important as we thought about not to just get rid of everything, but to keep the stuff that we think might be useful. We just didn't need as much of it. And that really, hand tools, things like that, that are, we don't need hundreds of hammers because we're
No.
not.
We're not making a lot of spindles, so we don't need wood lathes, that kind of thing, which is not practical to keep.
So anyway, so we would be looking tonight and when you're ready, to get approval to go forward with it, because literally, if you give approval tonight, they will be here probably early next week. Everything's been inventoried and so they can move forward with it and, we, at that point, it's out of our way, so we can do what we need to do, and at some point in the future, we will get back whatever they were able to gain through the auction house.
Any other questions?
I just have to make a comment that all this stuff blows me away. The chairs,
Yeah.
now the auction, the calendar. Talk about being proactive.
Well, I stress with my team, every penny we save, we can reinvest in the schools, give the students a better experience. Worst case scenario, every penny we save goes back to the taxpayers. It's win-win. You can't lose in this job. Tell
I
them.
have to put in the recycling to it. I'm just really impressed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. And next week we have our joint town council and school board meeting on Wednesday, August 12th at 6 p.m. And Todd and I met with the chair of the town council and Steve Fournier, town manager, earlier today to go through the agenda. And I think it was a great conversation. And I think we're all looking forward to getting together and talking and hopefully having a more conversational meeting together and sharing some ideas and as we go forward with some of these potential um future projects and the events in the near and farther future, just being able to collaborate on those things and
Right.
Yeah.
And we also talked a little bit about sort of the format of the meeting. And we talked about the idea of not having it be quite so formal, so that there might be more of a give and take between the council and the board. I think we all four of us agreed there are a number of issues coming up in the very near future that are going to involve the need to be messaging similarly and thinking similarly. And obviously, we've already talked quite a bit about the tax cap and that has an impact on the community and how that happens, but also capital projects. Clearly, we have the potential for a athletic fields project. The town has potential police station renovation, potential town hall renovation, potential library renovation expansion. So there's a lot out there. So it's an opportunity for us to kind of begin to get on the same page, which I think would be a good thing. I know the Charter Commission really was hoping to see more collaborative kind of thing. I might suggest too that one of the outcomes of this meeting could be we turn the table and invite them to one of our meetings. So we could actually maybe mid-year say, invite the town council to come to a meeting to continue the dialogue.
To echo what Mr. Riley was just saying about win-win situation, I think that with things that both entities have happening in the future, and the things we're collaborating on, having working together is, you know, is really key. It's gonna only help, I think, both parties when we're working together on things that can really benefit both of us in the community. So
And I realize we finalized the agenda today, but it's not linked here. I'll send the agenda out to everybody so you'll have it prior. And actually, probably Steve will post it on the town website fairly soon. But it's largely, I did share a draft of it with you last meeting that had the 3 items that the town had suggested. And then we had some conversation at the board table last time about wanting to have, the Carpenter property discussion, wanting to talk about collaboration, that kind of thing. So all of the items you suggested have been added to the items that were there. So I'll get that to you as soon as I get a final version of it from Steve.
any questions on that? Great. My favorite item for
Oh,
discussion today is occurring tomorrow evening from 5 to 9 o'clock at the rec, the annual backyard bash. And board member Saliga is brought the weather to my attention, but then she also let me know that the weather seems to be, taking a turn for the positive. So we're, fingers crossed for good weather, although I do believe it did rain a little bit last year. But we worked, both Liz and I worked on the spinner that did arrive, and Dave Riley is going to transport that along with a table and chairs for us to set it up. It does have several categories of questions, which if you want to take a sneak peek.
Oh my goodness,
Um,
look at that.
We can preview for everyone who's watching. There's a category of New Hampshire facts, facts about Newmarket, elementary school math, and school board questions. Anyone wants to take a try at one of our trivia questions, you can.
So is there going to be a charge for this, or is it just
nope,
just
Just fun.
come
just
and have fun?
just fun, and you know,
So
get
who's
to see a different side of some of us, I think.
who's in the tank?
I plan to be there the entire time. One of the things that we can talk about is members who are interested in reading questions, facilitating spinners, being in the dunk tank. It will be very, very warm tomorrow, so won't be too bad with having the splash pad water that's a little chilly. But yeah, we can come up with
Schedule.
just sort of a schedule. Like I said, I will be there, but there really probably should be 2 members at every time, just so that one person can facilitate the spin.
I will also plan on being there from at least 5 to 6:30. Yeah.
So I don't know if anybody has any.
Any other
Probably between
preferences?
6:30 to 7:30 or so.
Okay.
I'll take an early shift. Yeah, so what it goes from 5 to 9:30, correct? But the fireworks go off at 9:10 or
9,
something,
yeah.
9. Okay. Let's get that up.
I mean, I don't know that in terms of thinking of breaking down and whatnot, I don't know that we're going to go necessarily till 9 o'clock. I'd say maybe 8:30, but I mean, Gary said he wanted to be there until 8:59.
In the tank too, is that?
I could be down there at 5 and help you set up, then
Okay.
stay for a while. And work the spinning wheel
All right.
if my arm will
Questions?
let it. I've had
The answers are on there in case
Okay,
anybody
okay,
doesn't
good.
know, because there were some of them that were
You wanted me to put the answer
little
notes.
tricky.
Yes.
here too.
These are just questions Liz had.
Yeah.
Others
Anyone
have
know
answers.
the answer to this one?
I just have to say that you've made it fun.
Hey.
You know,
There are a
remember
lot of kids in town
last
that
year
are-
it was the pencils.
Yes, we also we both have children who are sharing the news
Oh, really?
about the dunk tank. So
There's requests, I think, of kids setting up tables to be near the dunk tank to
Oh,
watch.
really?
Yes, that's my understanding. So I think this should be, um, it's a great way to just make
It
sure
is.
people know
Yeah.
that we're approachable and here and want to hear what they're thinking. It's nice. Thank
And I
you,
really
Lonnie.
appreciate that the board humored me with this. Dan, Dan Smith, I hope you're gonna come. Bring a pencil.
Or two.
For those who don't know, that last year we gave out pencils and it didn't go well. So the dunk tank
Successfully gave up pencils on, yeah.
Dave and I sat there
Crowds
for,
of people. around
for a couple hours talking about everything under the sun. And
There was a
maybe
great
we,
xylophone
Yeah.
group though.
maybe we gave away about what, 10 pencils? No.
We had a lot left. That's all I'll tell you.
So are they reusing
We
them
can
this
bring
year?
them.
I don't even know where they are at this
Okay.
point. There was a lot of them left. That's all I can.
Oh, I feel like teachers want those.
Yeah.
Because we were getting
Let's
emails.
say we gave them to the school and
Good,
they've
yeah.
given them out to kids.
Good.
We sold them to some other school.
$11,000.
A Newmarket.
Another
They
reinvestment.
just crossed it. Yeah, I'm really excited. I just again to echo what Liz was saying, I do think this will give the idea to like, even if it puts a face to a name, like who is that,
Yeah.
who is that crazy person who decided
We
to
wear
be
our
in a dunk tank?
badges.
Um,
Well, you can't wear them
I'll
in the
wear
tank.
I don't know if I'll wear my
Yeah.
lanyard or not, but yes, I guess
I'm not
in the tank, but
Yeah.
I will have it. Um,
I gotta remember.
and this is us making some good headway on our school board goal of community engagement, because it should be fun. All right, so if anybody has anything different and you just want to let me know individually, you can do that as well if anything changes, or if you have you want to get there early.
I get COVID,
get the-
can't go. Hypothetically.
It's outside.
You stub your toe or something?
All right, any other questions about that?
No, the last couple of days, this is just kind of maybe a PR, as someone who's new here in Newmarket. The last couple of days, we went to Geppetto's last night for pizza. When we walked in, the two young ladies at the counter were so friendly and so engaging. And it was just a delight, and one of them came over, served us the pizza and said, I made it just for you guys. Then when we left, how was the pizza? And another one said, make sure you give us a rave. And then today I went to get my Dunkin' Donuts, and the gal at the door of the window was just so pleasant. And we need that, it's just like we can get caught up with all the other stuff that's going on in the world, but just going around and even going downtown, I just want to remark that with all the stuff tonight and the laughter that we're having as a school board, it's pretty impressive, I think. So that's kind of like having come from a place that was had a little angst to this. It's just so refreshing. So just Newmarket, be proud of what you're doing. And these kids were just delightful. So thank you
I did
for
have
my little editorial.
Yeah. I just to piggyback off that beforehand, I did see a very recent graduate, one of the top 10 earlier this evening at Crack Skulls, and she was filling out her graduation party thank you cards, and we were just chit chatting for a few minutes about going to school and whatnot, and some other people, some other graduates who ended up getting into first choice schools, and one of them changing their mind and going abroad, and again, equally as impressive. Just we have kids who are graduating and giving back to the community, and just are becoming wonderful adults, and I feel fortunate.
And sometimes when you're when you're around all the time, you kind of take it for granted. So I just have to give it a little rah rah. As the Beach Boys say, be true to your school.
Did you know there's going to be karaoke? Just kidding. All right. Moving on, just we'll go through school events as we gear up for the last third of the summer.
You say.
But not the end. Not
It's not till September 21st.
Right. We have the first day back for staff is August 24th. And then 6th grade and 9th grade orientations are on the 26th. Kindergarten and first grade open houses as well. I do believe there's also a kindergarten meetup hosted by the PTA. I think it might be August 10th, but I can, if somebody wants to look, and we can confirm that. August 27th, first day of school for students. And then September 4th, that's the Friday before Labor Day, no school. It will be on the magnetic calendar, so nobody sends their kids out to the bus stop that Friday.
I
And
just went and looked on that actually. and-
No school on Labor Day, of course. Anybody able to find?
Yeah, it looks like it's August 24th from 3 to 5.
Okay. So August 24th from 3 to 5, kindergarten meetup. I do know that the PTA has a Facebook site and does quite a lot of outreach. So it's always kind of a nice event. They have kids have wristbands
To say
with
what
the same
teacher there.
teachers so they can kind of meet some classmates ahead of time.
My son was so nervous, my oldest, about going to kindergarten, and the friend he made that day is still one of his best friends. And I swear it's from the meetup.
Yeah.
Yeah. So great. I love that activity.
All right. And then we have it's the last of our school events, and we have a new hire for a varsity golf coach.
Yeah, we're very, very lucky. Because as you know, last year was the first year we had a golf club team, and this year will be the first year we have a team. And Mark Palzanetti has stepped forward to be our golf coach. Jamie tells me I think there's 15 kids playing golf, so that's pretty cool.
All right. We don't have any additional donations to accept or acknowledge this evening. Okay, so moving on to our meeting minutes from July 16th, which was our 1 July meeting. Did anybody notice anything that needed to be edited? No. Right, with that, I will take a motion to approve our July 16th meeting minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes.
All right. In a second.
Second.
Second. All those in favor?
I-
Aye. One abstention.
Aye.
All right, who has the manifest? Gary.
I move we approve the manifest for August 6th, 2026, totaling $796,376.76.
Seconded.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Right, we have already approved the magnetic school calendar, which I'm super excited for. Right, I would take a motion to approve to auction the former shop space equipment through JSJ auction in Epping.
Is it auction or a caution?
It's supposed to be auction, but they
It is auction, okay.
it just transposed the C and the U.
I would make that motion that we approve the auction.
Thank you.
Second.
And
I'll second after Kathy.
I'll third.
All those in favor?
Fourth.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We all get a chance.
All right. So
Yep.
coming next week. Thank you, Mr. Riley, again.
Thank you so much.
All right. In the same spirit of saving money, being responsible. I would take a motion to approve the technology recycling proposal from Austin that will use Core Tech.
I will move on that.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, and then we had our second read of EHAG, the use of artificial intelligence. I know.
I just real quickly, you may recall that last meeting,
Yeah, I wanna pull-
Jason and Patty did a presentation on it. This is a policy that is really trying to adopt best practices in the district. It involves the creation of a guide, not a guiding coalition, a task force to manage AI technologies in the district. They actually are already, they have a meeting next week where their teachers are coming in on their own in the summertime to help start sorting through this stuff. But this policy really brings us in line with widely accepted practices, but it gives us enough flexibility to be able to sort of make decisions as we go as to what's best for Newmarket.
And also the I said it last week, or last meeting, and I'll just reiterate the definitions in there so that all the terminology that's being used, not only in our district, but you know, globally with AI, are all in there, which I think is really helpful when you have a policy of something that is pretty intensive. Yeah.
And I think it's made so that we can actually add to it once more terms come.
Yeah, we anticipate there being more policies
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, and one thing I would just point out ahead of time, and I'm going to vote that we should probably adopt this policy, but knowing that we're going to be reviewing it sort of over time is recent reading over a bunch of students just went to DC and sort of had a roundtable with a bunch of policymakers, adults that also were talking about AI and kind of came up with their own sort. You might know more about this than I do, but it was like the Student First Act or something
Oh, I hadn't
to
heard
that
that.
effect that these kids were working in tandem with educators to come up with sort of an idea about policy. And one of the kids had a really neat idea that kind of took me by surprise, which was that there should probably be some guidance in place around using AI on a skill or a task which you have not yet gained proficiency on, and maybe having some awareness around how folks are tackling that. So
Yep.
that's just something
Yeah.
that I thought was neat that I hadn't
Yeah.
hadn't really heard somebody.
I definitely
speak
think,
to.
yes, student voice in this
Yeah.
process is going to be critical
Critical.
because I think, traditional mindsets of AI would be, oh, that's cheating, and you just immediately block it and don't allow it to be used for constructive purposes. And I think there's going to have to be a lot of that conversation. I like the way you said that too.
Yeah.
The idea that when you're learning something new, having a computer do it for you is not authentic.
Right.
A
Yep.
new skill, you need to demonstrate you understand the skill before using it. That's a good way
Yep.
to think about
But
it.
there may be a great use case also in like it's helping you almost like a teacher would, but you don't
Yep.
have an actual
Yep.
teacher there. So yeah, anyway.
Great,
was all.
great thought.
I've been doing some research for my own teaching and found a teacher that is having her students write a declaration of independence in response to
Oh.
AI.
Hmm.
And I am absolutely adopting that. And but they have to write it and talk about when it's used and when it's not. And I just thought that was a really brilliant way to, after this unit and study on
Yeah.
AI and talking about it, to then have them draft it is kind of a neat thing. I think we can all be learning from each other as we
Yeah.
go on this because there's just so much out there.
Agreed. All right.
Motion to approve
Motion.
tag.
Thank you. EHAG, so lovingly abbreviated. Second. All right. All those in favor? Aye. Motion
Did we get a
carries.
second?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yes.
did quickly.
All right. We do have a need for a short non-public meeting to discuss matters under RSA 91-A:3 D, I believe, because it does pertain to personnel. But other than that, so I will seek a motion to enter non-public under said RSA.
I so move.
Kathy,
I'll second.
And do I need to do roll call?
Yes.
That's why I was looking. All right. Just in terms of, okay. Board Member Swanson,
Aye.
Board Member Boyd,
Aye.
Board Member Bass-Benden,
Aye.
Board Member Sleegan,
Aye.
and I do myself. Board Member Stebbins, aye. With that, we are entering